I am Keyonna KMJ6 Jones Lindsay, founder and executive director of Congress Heights Arts and Culture Center.
So how did you get started?
I feel like I've always been a creative, but it just dawned on me until probably the last 5 years, I guess. Like I grew up just being like, before you know you're creative, I think you're just marked as a weirdo. And so I just like grew up as a weirdo and was always into weird things. And then, I don't know, as I got older, I just had more of a passion to go towards those things. Like I couldn't ignore the creativity, I guess.
Was there a particular moment that made you kind of want to dive more into it, or something that like caught your eye, like I want to be a part of this?
I think I saw a bunch of stuff and I was irritated because I thought it was whack. And I thought like, oh, I could do that and I could do that better. Or like, oh, I do that anyway. And people can really make money from that. Like, and I think I really didn't realize it until like Instagram like really started popping, like social media started popping, and like you got access to see what other people were doing. And like, yeah, just like what other people was doing. And so I think I saw it and then I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. That's weak. Like I could do that better. And so I think that's really what did it. Because I just got tired of seeing like weak stuff.
So I guess how did seeing that translate into wanting to create this space?
Before the center was more so like once I started tapping into my creativity and like realizing that I was a creative and like understanding what that meant. And then I started like thinking back and I was like, oh, I've been a creative the whole time. And what that meant living in the Southeast, like how that translated. And then I was like, oh, like I never had anything here. And I thought back to the fact that my mother and my father, they were, you know, they had the opportunity to take me elsewhere. So I went to Virginia, I went to Maryland, I went to wherever and nurtured that creative spirit, but I always came back to Southside. And it was like people that were kind of like me, but either like in terms of like the creative stuff, but we just ain't had nowhere to go. And my peoples, they didn't have parents that did what I did and could take me out. So they would, you know, actually make fun of me for being able to go to other stuff. I went to, you know, PWI, so I talk pretty proper, and I can talk proper, but, you know, there's a light switch for that. But I used to get made fun of all the time because I had those opportunities. So when I realized I was a creative and I was still in Southside, and I was like, I'm still, like as an adult, I'm still leaving Southside to try to nurture that spirit, and that's not fair and that's not okay. So I really think that's where it came from, because I tell people all the time this was not a dream, it wasn't a goal, it wasn't something I had written down. The space just became available when I was working with my father. And I was like, I want to do something else, because I was running his properties and I hated it. And he was like, what you want to do? And I literally at that moment blurted out, like, let's do an art gallery. But I wanted to be more than an art gallery. I wanted to do classes and workshops, and I want people to be able to come in here and do that. And like it literally it like self-manifested, honestly. Like I never, ever thought of this, ever.
So let's go back even farther. So like, what about more kind of like, what was your childhood like, your family life? And guys, how did that kind of translate into how you see the world and how your perspective is today?
Yeah, for sure. So that definitely goes into like how I grew up and seeing myself being a weirdo, like trying to find myself and like figure those things out. My parents are like super conservative. They're both very country. They're from the country. My father's from Macon, Mississippi, and my mom's from Carlisle, South Carolina. So like both very deep Southern. My dad is Methodist and my mom's Baptist. Like screaming churches, running up and down, like that type of thing. And so like that's what I grew up in. Was like always in the church, Sunday school, like all that type of stuff. Mom always took me to like museums and was very like cultured, like growing up. She always like exposed me, but made sure just to expose me to that stuff, but always sheltered me from like south side. Yeah, like I didn't even, for a long time I didn't even know like what was wrong with south side. I remember like going to school uptown and people being like, oh, you live in southeast? And I'm like, yeah, like I didn't even understand. I didn't know that Keyonna was a black name until I got to high school. Like that's how sheltered I felt like I was. But then in the same token, like being in those sheltered spaces, I learned a lot, and it made my curiosity like peak. So being in, like I went to Catholic schools most of my life, but then in Catholic schools they teach you about all religions. So then it was like, okay, this is how I was raised, but this is how the school is, and then there's all these other things. So clearly I have an option. And then I remember, like I always tell the story about how my dad used to go to my religion teachers and ask them who gets into heaven and who dictates, you know, like who's the say so in that. And then when none of my religion teachers could answer, I realized, oh, all right, like, so who are y'all to tell me like these things, you know? And I think that's the moment I got in the space of like seriously questioning things and really like wondering for myself. Yeah, and then that's like literally where everything turned. There was a space of like a whole question of like my sexuality during that time. Like when I was 13, I remember I used to write everything down because I always say that too when it comes to art. You just don't, there's not words for everything. So you find art to fill those spaces. So writing has always like been my first love, my first art. So I used to always write poems or write in the book. And it used to make my parents nervous because I wouldn't say it out loud. So when I was young, they violated my space and got like a couple of my journals that I wrote like some deep stuff in. And one of the books was talking about my sexuality and a bunch of stuff. And they took the book and like sat me down, like almost like one of those
intervention.
Yes, like an intervention. And my mom was just telling me like how hard it was going to be if that was like the life that I was going to choose. Like I was already black and I was already a woman, so I already had things going against me. So to choose to be gay was like, that was probably a terrible thing to do. And so like in that space, like even being that young, and that was when I was 13, like I asked my mom, if you say that, like why would I choose something like that? Really it wouldn't be a choice, you know? And so like from that, I think from, not even before that, my parents have always just like looked at me as just the different one, the weird one.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I do. They're older, but I'm the only child between my two parents. So they have their own children from separate marriages. So and so that also goes into it. I don't think they were really expecting me either. My dad's birthday is today. He turned 70. And it's like, you know, so like I'm 70 and, I mean, he's 70 and I'm 29. And so, you know, there's that disconnect in the fact that I was born and raised in Southside and they were, you know, like country life. So there's like a complete disconnect. So growing up like that, I always just thought something was wrong with me, like always. Because even my mother would just like, when it came to discipline, she'd just be like, why do you do this? Or why do you act like this? Or why do you feel this way? And so I think, yeah, I just always thought that something was wrong with me. But then as I started growing and like learning and meeting other people, and I just realized that I'm me, like, and I'm really different, but I'm also dope, you know what I'm saying? But there's also this, it's a complete clusterfuck of trying to find a space for yourself, you know? Because I'm also a Scorpio and, you know, I'm just very intense and I'm aggressive. And so some people take it the wrong way. But that's filtered like that creative spirit too. Like I've always needed some sort of outlet. Or I've been able to see into art. Like I see different things into art and can take an interpretation that says something to me.
So at what point were you able to be more comfortable with yourself and kind of get away from like feeling that disconnect from your parents into just kind of finding yourself and loving yourself in order to prosper and grow within it?
So I think I'm in that space now. I think probably in building the center and like because I built it like literally alone and like just like the vision and like growing and just having to go through like those growing pains and stuff like that. I think that really just showed me my strength and like gave me a lot of faith for myself. And so my father, we butt heads a lot when it came to the business and like growing this, because he still kind of wanted to do it his way, and I was like, no, like the deal was if you give me the space, then it was mine, you know. So there was a lot of like standing up for myself there, and that took a lot, and it takes a lot even now, because my parents are the type that there really is no conversation, to be honest. Like they've gotten better over the years, but you know, that southern thing is like if you're talking, then it's inferior, like you're talking back type of thing. And so they don't want to hear it. And it's like, no, we're having a conversation and we're allowed to disagree, but it still plays its part. So, but I still have to, you know, beef up and say, Keyonna, this is how it's going to be. And if he wants to be in his feelings, then so be it. You love him, he loves you, and we'll move past it. So I think that, and even like asking you to do this, like this interview, like just trying to capture like who I am, like look at myself and really see myself. That's where the space I am in 2018. Like I promised myself I would see myself completely from all sides.
Self-awareness is powerful.
Yeah, like
it unleashes so much.
Right, and so like for example, I was telling the artist Quirky, he did this, like he immortalized me the other day and did this really, really dope piece. And it's like, but all it is just my head. It's like my head and just like a bust kind of like, and it's a 3D rendition. But it's so strong, and I told him that like I put it on my phone as like a screensaver because it's a true reminder, because I see the strength that I know is inside of me, you know? And then it's crazy because so many other people see it too. And I know it's there. It's almost like having someone on the tip of your tongue. And like, you know, like it's like I know it, but it just won't come out. And so that's where I'm in this space of like, I know there's like some type of explosion or some pop that's going to happen. And because most people don't think, I also tell people, because I try to be real transparent, because I know that that helps other people like through their storms. And so I tell people that right now, despite like what you see, and there's a lot that I'm doing, and a lot of people show gratitude and appreciation for it, and like are in awe about all that I'm doing at one time. But even in that, I'm operating in the space of low confidence and insecurity, you know? But to me, I tell myself that, and I'm like, I still see the things that I'm doing. So for me, if I know that like I'm in that space, the moment that I figure it out, like the moment that I'm secure or the moment that I get some confidence, I can't imagine what would happen, you know?
I think that's that true mix of being an entrepreneur and an artist.
Yeah.
Like that artist is always
right, always
at
like,
the back of our minds.
Yeah, like Erykah Badu, you sensitive about it, you know? I think knowing that is also what's keeping me back, because I know what I'm capable of and I know what could come. And like, the bigger you get, more responsibility comes, more accountability comes, like more bullshit comes, like real life, like it's like that, you know, Biggie saw more money, more problems, but it's not even really the money, it's just like the levels. Yeah. More levels, more problems. I'm gonna make that a t-shirt.
That's what we gotta be. We gotta be addicted to that growth. Once you stop and get comfortable, like you get stagnant.
And see, and that's the crazy thing, like I be feeling stagnant, even in like all that I'm doing. And I think that is a good thing too, because it always keeps a fire under my ass, I guess.
We're never gonna feel like it's enough.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
But then it's funny because then you see other people compare it. They're like, man, how do you do this and this and this? But you feel like, man, I'm bullshitting. I could have done this better.
Right.
I missed this. I missed the ball on this.
Yeah.
It's just keeping perspective a little bit. And I feel like we gotta have both. But also we gotta learn how to celebrate wins. And I know that's something that I'm bad at too. Like, because you're so focused on the goals that you have and the things that you want to be better at, you completely forget and negate all the dope shit you've done.
Yeah.
And all the growth that you have had. So I think it's good to have those people around that can see that sometimes, that remind you. I know, especially as a leader too, you got other people that are relying on you, so it adds even more. Like, yeah, you just want to try to fix the things that ain't right.
Yeah, and that also goes into like just the type of person that I am. Like, I'm very passionate and I'm compassionate. Like, people, like, I get very attached very quickly. And which is weird, too, because, like I said, I'm an empath, so I feel people, you know what I'm saying? But I think I feel people's potential more than I be really feeling them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be feeling too deep sometimes. And it's like, sometimes I be feeling people more than they even feel themselves. what I'm feeling, I have expectations for what I'm feeling, but they haven't even felt that. So we're not even on the same page of what I'm expecting from them, because they don't even see what I see in them, you know? And I get caught up with people like that all the time and get screwed over all the time because I done dug too deep in somebody.
You think it may be too much too quick, or their person is just really in the wrong mindset?
Both. Because that's how I move. I don't have time, like, bro, I don't have time. And if we're going to do this, we're going to do it. Like, and if I'm with you, like, if I'm with you, I'm with you. That's how I am. Like, I can't help it. And I just expect people to, like, really take that and, like, really understand me and feel me when I say that and not take advantage of that. And if you're not ready, then say that. Like, it's okay, but don't waste my time. Oh, I hate that. And it's like, I think people also get attracted to what I see in them. And they want to so bad, but they don't be ready. Yeah. And they don't know how to say they not ready. Either they embarrassed to, or they don't want to seem weak.
That's scared to disappoint.
Yeah. And I'm like, you gonna disappoint me way more and create more issues if you're not just straight up from the beginning, like from the gate. But that happens to me all the time, and like, Sean and I are so different from that because he don't care about relationships like that. He just don't care. Like, and it don't bother him. And I, like, literally get heartbroken off of shit. Like, literally heartbroken. And I look at people and be like, wow, like... And because it feels like sometimes people, like... And I've heard it out of people's mouths, like, straight to my face, like, I can't rock with you, just... And I don't know, it's something about you. And it's like, it's that fear of not knowing about me. That whether I'm gonna try to get something, I'm like, I don't have nothing out here to get, like, and it's not to boast or brag, but I got a husband, I got 2 beautiful kids, I got a house with no mortgage, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and I have an organization, I have a building, and the building is mine. I do got a mortgage for this, but it's mine. You know what I'm saying, like, and so it's like, and then it's like offensive, because it's like, what do you think that you can do for me that I can't do for myself? Like, you tripping. Yeah, it's like, that's crazy. And so it's always just like a fight, because all I'm trying to do is just like be the plug, be a platform, and create. Because I'm an artist too, so I want to work, I want to collab, I want to do dope shit that's gonna last, dope shit that's gonna tell a story.
I think we gotta, like, as leaders and team builders, we gotta realize that not everyone is gonna be at that level that we're looking for. I feel like me and you, we kind of work very similar. We're very direct in what we want, and we like to move quick.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a very unicorn type of person that can work in that type of environment, because we're also kind of lax at the same time, but we need people who can do this shit in order to have that. So, yeah, it's just patience.
And that's what I don't have.
That's the biggest,
and I have no patience. Like, you could ask anybody. Me and my staff, we was literally talking about that, because you got hella patience. I just don't have no patience, like, at all. And then, like, the empath thing, as soon as I feel uncomfortable, my patience is gone, you know? And so, I don't know, and my mother said that all the time. She was like, you're so impatient. Like, why are you so impatient? Because I ain't got time, Mom.
How has growing up in the South Side kind of fueled your impatience when it comes to, like, goal seeking and wanting to get things done?
You see people, like, you lose friends around here every day, like, every week. Like, when it get warmer, like, you be scared to just walk down the street. We done gone to the carryouts and it just be a whole problem. Like, and I refuse to, like, live in a space or walk in a space where I'm scared and I'm fearful all the time. I just gotta live, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta, like, take every moment and, like, do everything, because I just really don't believe in boxes. I really don't. And I think that's the issue. Like, I was raised to believe in boxes. And growing up, I never believed in them. But you know, like, as a child, you gotta do what they say you gotta do. But then at the same time, as you grow up, you still got these things that you was taught. And you still got things that you gotta break loose. So even though I don't believe in them, I still got them. You know? So it's a constant fight, but it's like, I just feel like I just have to. I don't have time to play. Because I know about people, like I literally just celebrated this man's birthday last weekend, and I didn't even know him, but he's my people's folks. And this man was partying one night, woke up, was on Snapchat and everything, got out the bed and dropped, and never woke up. Like my brother died when he was 18 in a car accident. I had a friend a few months ago had a seizure and never came out of it. Like, you never know what's gonna happen, where it's gonna go. And I don't never wanna feel like, you know, if you get there, I don't never know like what the afterlife gonna be like, but I think about that. Sometimes I think my thoughts are morbid, but I think about that. I think about the day that I'm gonna die. And I think about what people gonna say about me. I think about my funerals. I think about how many people gonna be there. I'm gonna think about if people really crying, or if people thinking about something I just did to them and trying to be spiteful. I'm gonna think about my kids, what I left them, what I didn't leave them. I'm gonna think about all that, and I think about it, and I don't think about it like I'm gonna die like later on. I think about death like if I died right now today. Like, so that means I'm leaving my parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I think about, and it's a morbid thought, but it also like fuels you to like what you gonna leave, how people gonna feel about you today, not in 5 years. Like, now when you got time to do something, because you don't know how it's gonna happen. So I think about like if I died today, and like what people would really feel like, what people really like be hurt, like what people really feel like they lost something.
So what advice would you give other people that want to do something similar that you do?
I don't have no advice, Mo. Like, real life, people ask me that all the time, and I don't have no advice because I'm still just trying to figure it out. And I get blown away by that too, because people do ask me that. And then I know like people have asked me for like speaking opportunities and all that type of stuff, and I don't prep. I don't do none of that. I don't write no notes. I just go in there and just start talking. I just be like, just live, like just figure you out, just do what you want to do. And it really don't matter what other people talking about. Like, people's feelings may hurt, but if you realize not killing nobody and like not taking from anybody, because I hate that too, I see it too on social media, and I hate that. And it's like these people that they put on pedestals, like regular freaking people. Like regular freaking people. And they put them on pedestals, and then I was just talking to this girl yesterday that she paid somebody else like to do something. I'm like, what? I was like, how old are you? And I was like, how old is that person? And I was like, not to say that you don't want to support them or you don't want to collab with them, but how dare you like take away from yourself while you saying that you building yourself to build somebody else? Like, how does that work? Like, you take away from yourself and your resources because you saying that this person has what you need. But y'all right there with each other. That person just doing it. And you not. And you sitting there saying that they really like just do it. Just do it. Like Nike been saying for years. Just do it.
So what are you hopeful for the remainder of 2018?
For 2018, I just really want to feel myself. And like I'm getting there. Like I'm really getting there. Like I keep saying that. Like I know who I am. And I know what I'm capable of. But there's like just some type of like screen there right now. And I'm just trying to break through the screen. And just not care. I care too much right now. Yeah, so by 2018, I don't want to care no more. That's a good answer. I don't want to care no more. By 2019, I don't want to give a fuck.
You want to leave the people with some good words?
Just be honest. Because a lot of y'all not being honest. Like, I watch y'all. And I'm real quiet. I don't say too much because I don't have time. I've been saying that. I don't be having time. Some days I do have time. And I take the time to tell y'all about yourselves. Because a lot of y'all know, like I know a lot of people. Y'all just need to be honest. Be Be honest with yourselves. Be honest with other people. And don't take from people. Don't take from people. Like, reciprocate. Give people what they give you. Don't be a fraud. Don't be a snake. Just be honest. And whatever that means. Like, if you a bitch, be a bitch. That's fine. If you a sucker, be a sucker. That's fine too. But just be honest. Just be honest.